is everywhere.
No, I think that's
And we would love you to read along with us. Beginning a new section entitled The Quiet Answer. It's on page 574 of the second edition of A Course in Miracles. And Jan, will you start reading the first paragraph for us?
The quiet answer. In quietness are all things answered, and is every problem quietly resolved. In conflict there can be no answer and no resolution, for its purpose is to make no resolution possible, and to ensure no answer will be plain. A problem set in conflict has no answer, for it is seen in different ways. And what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer in another light. You are in conflict. Thus it must be clear you cannot answer anything at all, for conflict has no limited effects. Yet if God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved. For what He wills already has been done.
So that's the mindset to understand when you choose it's time to choose a miracle, because you can feel you're in conflict. And what is our conflict? What is the major conflict? I mean, every situation we enter appears to be different, but the underlying conflict is always the same. We have a conflict in our mind about who we are. Who are we? Are we powerful sons of God, or are we vulnerable bodies subject to outside forces? So every situation that we run into where it's a problem in our experience, it's really a conflict about who we are. And it can't be resolved by the mind that's in conflict, obviously, because it doesn't know. But there's an answer.
Conflict has no limited effects. That means it's what's Jesus' word? When he's asking the pig how many Satans there are inside the pig, and it says, what was the answer?
It was a lot.
Legion, yeah.
Legion, that's right, it was a lot.
It was legion. It was a madman.
Conflicts are legion.
So to remember that when you get into a state of conflict, you're not going to find the answer yourself. That mind that got into the conflict is not going to get out. It's time now to choose a miracle, which means you're asking for another part of your mind to come up with the answer, the Holy Spirit. Otherwise, we can sit here and think about our problems forever. And like Einstein said, what did he say? About how a problem can't be resolved at the level. He was really saying the same thing this paragraph is saying. You have to go to another level to get the answer. You can't be in the paradigm of the problem and get the answer. Okay, it's Judy's turn.
Thus, it must be that time is not involved, and every problem can be answered now. Yet it must also be that, in your state of mind, solution is impossible. Therefore, God must have given you a way of reaching to another state of mind, in which the answer is already there. Such is the holy instant. It is here that all your problems should be brought and left. Here they belong, for here their answer is. And where its answer is, a problem must be simple and be easily resolved. It must be pointless to attempt to solve a problem where the answer cannot be. Yet just as surely it must be resolved if it is brought to where the answer is.
That's a great definition of the holy instant, don't you think? There's another state of mind where the answer is. And to know that you have to go to another state of mind, because this is hard for us to first get when you first start reading the Course. It's saying, okay, if I ask for an answer, I'm going to get it to every problem. But then we want to think our way linearly from our problem, point by point, to the answer. But see, if you're jumping to another state of mind, you can't think your way to the answer. You've got to learn how to stop your own thinking and let the answer come to you. Because it has to come from someplace outside of the mind that created the problem. And so that's why we need the workbook exercises, because they're training us to stop thinking for a moment? Could we just stop your mind for a second so we can get an answer? But it helps to know you have to stop your own analysis of the problem, your own perception of the problem, your own assigning blame for why there's a problem. You have to stop it for just enough time and with enough faith to receive an answer. And until you can, you won't get an answer. But it's not because it's not there. It's because you weren't able to get yourself out of the way. Now, if you know that, because he says, everything's resolved, but you interfere. You keep interfering with the answers. And it's really our own, overactive, fearful state who's concerned that if I don't figure this answer out, it's not going to get figured out. So we can't stop. This makes sense now. Okay, I guess it's my turn now. Attempt to solve no problems, but within the holy instant's surety. For there the problem will be answered and resolved. Outside there will be no solution, for there is no answer there that could be found. Nowhere outside a simple question is ever asked. The world can only ask a double question. One with many answers can have no answers. None of them will do. It does not ask a question to be answered, but only to restate its point of view. Yeah.
It reminds me of something we read recently about talking about the dream and not trying to figure out the answer in the dream, and it said, does it matter how many pitchforks the devil carries?
That's right, I did. We did read that just recently.
Yeah.
That example. You're sitting there analyzing the pitchforks.
And everything in the physical world has advantages, also has disadvantages. Here's the thing, if you buy something, you have to keep it clean, you have to keep it prepared.
Keep it safe.
Keep it safe.